Hello, everyone. I'm Peggy Neely Harris, and it is so good to have you here with Peggy's Creative Art Space podcast. Let's just take another look at what we do, guys. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Welcome back, everyone. This is Peggy Neely Harris, your friendly host for Creative Conversations in the Community. Well, you know what we do. We put on plays, we do workshops, we do seminars, we bring special guests for you, and this week is no different. So thank you for joining Peggy's Creative Art Space podcast. This is our 12th podcast. Hey, kudos to us. Thank you so very much for joining us, and let's see what we got for you today. Hello, everyone. My name is Peggy, and you are watching Peggy's Creative Arts Space podcast, where we bring people of the arts in the community to you so you can get connected and go for what you know in your own gift. Today, we are having our wonderful guest today here from COCA, my old friend, wonderful friend, artist extraordinaire, Ms. Janelle Velten. And she is the Arts Integration Specialist at COCA, and she's coming to us to chat for a little bit on Peggy's Creative Arts Space podcast. So take it over, Janelle. Tell us all about you, your degree and everything, and all the good stuff that you've been doing, and we'll go from there, okay? Go, girl.
Well, first I have to say thank you for coming and inviting me to chat with you, Peggy.
Well, welcome.
It's really good. It's really good to be able to talk with you. But as you know, we were just chatting about this. As you know, I've been with COCA a long time. I actually started teaching for COCA when I was still in college. Mostly theater classes is where that started. And at the same time, I was working in school settings, mostly teaching theater, and I went into the general education classroom for a number of years and was teaching writing to mostly second graders, first graders, kindergartners, so emerging writers. It was really a beautiful time. And it was during that time that I didn't have the phrase arts integration, like it wasn't part of my vocabulary.
Girl, you know what? Let me stop you because you just took one of my questions.
Can I take one away?
No, but that's okay. No problem, Janelle. Did you ever realize you'd be something like an arts integration specialist? But keep going.
No.
Okay. In your early years, go ahead.
I didn't even really have those words, Peggy. But while I was in these teaching and learning spaces, it was just apparent to me that when I was teaching arts, when I was teaching in theater, that the strongest teaching that I was doing was connected to something bigger, something bringing in all different areas of I mean, whether it's history or culture. Or, sometimes all of a sudden math is showing up, that this is really important that we're thinking about this. And that is where I guess a light dawned for me, that really how important these connections were. And when this opportunity presented itself to join the staff at COCA and actually dig into arts integration and what that could mean for our area, because I work for a part of COCA called COCA EDU, which is what we take out into the community. It's what we take into mostly schools. And it's funny that I'm setting it up, saying it like that. Peggy, you know.
I know. I'm just listening to you, girl. That's okay. We love it. And that's where you and I met. After school, yeah. But so my guest would understand. Your journey. That's really important, though. I like that. So you were basically with the little folks in the beginning, and a light bulb came on, and you just kind of knew that was something that was going to be Janelle.
Without that tingle, right? That tingle in the back of your head that you're like, there's something here.
I know. Here. See, that's wonderful.
That's what I love, Peggy, is that
that's wonderful.
Arts integration, the voice It's just, there's something so special about the way the arts honor the creator.
Yes, exactly. I love it. I'm glad you said that because it's everywhere. It's everything that we do. When we wake up in the morning until we go to bed at night, art is around us. It's wonderful. So, and we're both artists, so we both love the same language. We both feel the same things or whatever. So I'm so glad you came up through that experience because now you get to go back into the community and, you know, take all that stuff back. It's wonderful. But Janelle, for some people who are watching us now on the podcast, when I say COCA, I know the name changed a long time ago, so it tells you how old I've been around COCA.
We've been around for a minute.
Yeah. So explain to them what the initials are for COCA and exactly what does that mean for the community?
So COCA, we are the Center of Creative Arts. And our brick and mortar, our facility, which actually just expanded, we're in University City.
Get out.
And this facility in University City, when we were expanding our footprint, we really talked about, do we need a new space? Do we need to move our building? And both the physical and the where we are located in University City is a crossroads of north and south. It's a crossroads of east and west. There are a lot of communities that is in between, and symbolically, the crossroads space where we're inhabiting was really important. And so we're like, we need to stay our physical location. Now, I admit that the work that I do, I go all over into the community.
Sure.
But that is where we are located. And we've been there for over 36 years now.
That's a long time. Wonderful.
It definitely. And it's an arts education organization.
Yes.
We actually have the honor of being the nation's 4th largest independently funded arts education organization.
Wonderful. It's a big deal.
There's a lot of things that happen, and because there needs to be a lot of things that happen, because COCA is for everybody. So it's for someone who is trying to foster a professional career in the arts, and how do we get them there? And then it's for someone who participates or engages with the arts as audience, that end of the spectrum that we want to engage, and someone who is a novice, who is like, I just am so drawn to dance or to paint or to cook. The culinary arts have become really important in the work that we do.
Yes.
So that's what's happening in University City.
So do you use models from different places who are just as important and just as big as you guys are? And how does that work when you bring it together like that?
So, and this is very, very tied to the work that I do in the University City school system.
Okay.
Because we are partners in education through the Kennedy Center. You're like, what is that? What does that mean? Exactly. It's a national partnership. And so across the country, there are the partnerships are an arts organization and a school system, normally a district. And COCA is Partners in Education with the University City School District.
Okay.
And we have been doing that work since 2003, but it has evolved in such an amazing way that in the beginning, we were really relying very heavily, pulling resources from that national network. And bringing folks in from the Kennedy Center for professional learning and to guide our work. And then as we have evolved, the relationship between University City and COCA has grown. And so now
I can imagine.
we are deeply embedded in the teaching and learning that happens. We work with the curriculum and instruction team. We have a point of integration identified across from pre-K through 12th grade that really we've had such an amazing opportunity to work with their curriculum and instruction team about what it looks like when you begin in University City and what is your journey through the arts until you graduate from high school.
How amazing.
Yes.
How about Lincoln Center? Do you guys work with the Lincoln Center at some point? Do you use some of the models there? I've been.
You're the one who was bringing us all the Lincoln Center good stuff.
Well, did I do that?
You did. I will say they, from my purview, Lincoln Center, while we're not an official partner with Lincoln Center, they have stepped up into the virtual space. I've been doing amazing professional development of my own that they have offered for free for the community. Oh, the Activate series.
Wonderful.
Check it out.
Activate series. Oh, yes. My goodness.
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, I'm so glad to have been a part of that. Well, when I went to New York to go to, I really wanted to do more expanding. And I love COCA and I love everything that I've gotten, but I wanted to do a little bit more stretching out because I was going to work at a camp during the summer in New York. So I thought, I'm going to come back and get, a little bit more educated from the Lincoln Center. And it was so wonderful to bring that model into what I was doing, not only to COCA, but in other spaces that I was teaching, in St. Louis. And I thought, well, let's put a little bit of that into this class when I'm going to COCA and blah, blah, blah. And now here you guys are all getting together, all nice and cozy. How about that? That's wonderful. Activate series. Get out.
Full circle.
You see how the arts does? It is so wonderful. I've never been to the state of the art facility yet.
Oh, because we built a building during COVID and then absolutely nobody got to come and see it for the first year. It was like, and we're closed.
Oh my God. So how big is it now?
It was like a 5-year journey to raise the funds to be able to build this building.
Sure.
And we finished the construction of the new building, which the design is very cool. Our original building is historic. It was a Jewish synagogue. Mendelssohn is the name of the architect, and it's really beautiful architecture. And they wanted to honor the architecture that was existing, and so from the outside, it looks like one big facility when we actually brought two buildings together. Peggy, I need to get you to come see the building. I can talk about it all I want.
Take a tour, this is awesome.
That's a deal. That's awesome. A deal.
Okay, we'll do that. So in a few words, just like single words, what impact has COCA made since you've been there to the community around and to the to various communities? As far as the arts is concerned, just give me some words. I know, like invigorating. I don't know.
I'm going to our mission. We've been enriching lives and building community using arts from systemic oppression. From trauma around. I mean, we can just talk about pandemic alone. Trauma around that.
Yes.
There really is capacity within the arts to hear voices that you haven't heard before, to consider something that is hard, that if someone just said to you that, all of our biases and all of our defense mechanisms and all of our privilege rears up and says, I can't hear what you're saying. But when an artist says something to us, kind of opens us up to
make it plain, girl. Yes.
Get out of your own way and hear the voice that needs to be heard.
Advice would you give a person who already knows where they want to go? Is COCA the stop for them, or should they at least try and get into, some COCA classes or whatever? And then the person that doesn't know, but they have an inkling that there's something, artsy in their passion about, what should they do? What should they look for? Yeah.
Well, I invite anyone on that continuum to come to COCA, and because there really is, we have class samplers that it's like, I don't even know if I want to commit to a whole class. Let me try it out. What is this all about? That you can get a sneak peek and you can feel what it would feel like to be in our space and take a class. We invite anyone to come and participate as an audience. Please come and see artwork that we have in our gallery. Our Millstone Gallery is open when our facility is open to come and view. I should be so prepared. We just installed a show and a new show is coming up. So now I'm just gonna dance around that.
That's okay. But at least you're open though.
There you go. And our beautiful new theater, really amazing blend of work that we do in a presented series. We do create a lot of original work. Tonight, as a matter of fact, is the world premiere of Big Machine, which is an original musical written by Colin Healy. And we are very committed to multi-generational casting, that our students and professional actors have the opportunity to work together.
I just left my questions alone because I knew you were going to say all that stuff anyway. Yeah, that's right. Multiculturalism is so important in the arts as well. Yeah, it's awesome.
And so that's what I would say. I would say come and see. We invite you to come and explore. Let us be on that journey with you. Yes, wonderful. And if it's not COCA that you're coming to, go see a show, hop into a gallery.
There you go.
Create something in your house, wherever you go on that journey. But we would love to be a part of that journey.
Janelle, it has been a joy to have you on my podcast, and I am certain that whoever is listening, when you air, you are going to bring some joy to them as well and give them a little bit of guidance. And that's what the podcast is about, bringing on people to have nice chats and just kind of explore the arts and just see what, how people can connect. They can connect with COCA anytime. Give us a website.
It's www.cocastl.org.
Thank you so much, Janelle Velten, for coming on Peggy's Creative Art Space podcast. And we will see you sometime at COCA, okay, girl?
It has been a pleasure. Thank you so much, Peggy.
Thank you. Peace out, girl. Bye-bye.
Today's creative tip. Well, last week we did our first one, and that was beginning, middle, and end. Today, we have another element, and that is called character strategies. It's just a simple way of what characters do to get what they really, really want or what they really, really need in a play. So if you're writing a play, you have to determine how many times that they make up a strategy to get what they really want. Just like you and I do in simple life. If we want to get a picture of someone and there's a crowd there in front of us, we just make our way around the crowd, up and down or whatever, until we get the picture that we want. And just like kids in your home, if they see a box of cookies on the refrigerator and they know they can't get it, what do? They pick up a chair, pull a chair over, get in that chair, and get up there to get those cookies. So when you're writing a play and you're using character strategies, you always want to focus on what the character needs and what the character wants most in a play. And that's today's creative tip. Did you know that Miles Davis was born just 15 minutes away from St. Louis, Missouri? He sure was. Miles Dewey Davis III was an American trumpeter, band leader, and composer. He is among the most influential and acclaimed figures in the history of jazz and 20th century music. Miles Davis adopted a variety of musical directions in a 5-decade career that kept him at the forefront of many major stylistic developments in jazz. Born in Alton, Illinois, and raised in East St. Louis, Davis left to study at Juilliard in New York City. But before dropping out and making his professional debut, he was a member of the saxophonist Charlie Parker's bebop and jazz era, and so many more jazz greats that we can hardly name them all on this podcast. Miles Dewey Davis III was born on May 26, 1926, to an affluent African-American family in Alton, Illinois. They had a pig farm, and he had a sister and a brother, and his mother was a music teacher and a violinist. His father was a dentist in Arkansas. They owned 200 acres of estate near Pine Bluff, Arkansas, with a profitable pig farm, as I said. Now, his career spanned for many years, and like so many other artists in the past and today, Miles suffered hardships in finance, marriage, and health. It took a toll on his life like so many lives in stardom today. He died September 28, 1991, but he was recognized by Rolling Stone as the most revered jazz trumpeter of all time. We salute Miles Dewey Davis III.
He's a comforter in times of despair. He's a soul provider when no one else cares. He's a way maker when you're at your end. A forgiving God as we were born in sin. When you're lost, can't find your way, follow his footsteps. He's leading the way. If you ever have a problem, give it to Jesus, because he will work it out. The Savior's gonna work it out. Oh, work it out. My Savior's gonna work it out. Oh, Lord. The Savior's gonna work it out. Yes, he'll work it out.
Wherever you go, he'll be right there with you. When your burdens grow so heavy, well, he's the one that lifts you. And it doesn't really matter what problems come your way. Reach out and call on Jesus. Believe in your heart that he will work it out.
The Savior's gonna work it out.
Oh, he'll work it out. The Savior's gonna work it out. Oh, yes, he
The
will.
Savior's gonna work it out. Yes, he'll work it out.
What a friend that we have in Jesus.
Jesus is a friend of mine.
He's a friend of mine.
He's a friend of mine.
I know he is. He's a friend of mine. What a friend that we have in Jesus.
Jesus is right on
He's
time.
right on time.
Right on
He's
time.
never too late. Save your soul divine. Save your soul divine.
Now wherever you should go,
He'll be right there with you.
and when your burdens are so heavy,
Well, he's the one that really lifts you. And it doesn't really matter
what problems come your way, reach out and call on Jesus. Believe in your heart that he will work it out. The Savior's gonna work it out.
He's my rock. He'll work it on out. He'll work it on
Work
out.
it on out. The Savior's gonna work it out. Yes, he'll work it out. Work it out. The Savior's gonna work it out.
He's my lily of the valley.
He's my lily of the valley. I came to him without you. Yes, he'll work it out. Work it out. Father, Father, Father. The Savior's gonna work it out.
Praise him from whom all blessings are morning star. My Savior's
So today's parting thought, very, very simple, and that is to never stop learning the things that you need to know about your craft, or the things that involve getting you a job in your craft. Just like myself, I had to learn something just a couple of weeks ago that I did not do because I thought I already knew it. But once I got to working on it, I realized that I had more knowledge to gain. So if you're putting together something about your own career, your own life that you really, really want to know, just remember to never stop learning. Always apply yourself to what's going on in your craft. And that is today's parting thought.
Special thanks to Good Shepherd Art Center, New Awakening UMC Church, My J's Creatives, IH Productions. If you or someone you know would like to advertise or simply have your logo displayed on our podcast, give us a call at 314-521-6388.
Because of you, I'm far from oppression. Because of you, fear doesn't come near me. Because of you, I'm more than a conqueror. Because of you, I have a peace. Peace that passes all understanding. Because of you, I can do all things. Because of you.